Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to today's upload. Before we jump on into it, couple quick links. As many of you may know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. These audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment and share the video. Why? Well, because these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They definitely do matter, and they are appreciated. And with that, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to today's upload, shall we? All right, guys, tonight I have a guest who has been on with Dark Waters, Sean Graham. He has his own YouTube channel. His name is Vault, or he goes by Vault of Nightmares. Vault, how are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm fine as frog here. Just living a dream. How you been doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking some time out of your evening to come on and chat with us. I really appreciate it. I really do. And
Hey, there's no problem. Like I told you, anytime, any place, if you need me, all you got to do is pick that phone up and Vault will be there.
Right on. Right on. I really appreciate that. Well, you are no stranger to Sasquatch, Dogman. Would you like to share? I'm going to lay it on the line. How about, when was your first encounter or first sighting of either or?
All right. My first sighting, first interaction was with Bigfoot. Now, for anybody that's heard my channel or whatever, they already have heard this, but I'm going to tell the people that haven't been on my channel or are listening for this for the first time. I have a unique background with Bigfoot and stuff. Now, first off, I want to get this out of the way. I am no expert in no kind of way. I don't believe there is a Bigfoot or Dogman or cryptid expert out there. I was brought up in knowing about these animals and learning how to avoid them. But before that, before I was ever told about them, I was really, really young. It was before I was 15 years old. I remember that. Okay. And I remember this because it was Christmas, and we were out on Christmas break. Me and my cousin, very close. We grew up like brothers. We were out hunting. And when I was younger, like every other kid that grew up in the woods, deer season, you got to see who can kill the biggest deer and, yada, yada. Well, I'd been hunting this one buck. I'd only seen him glancing about 3 years. I only seen him glancing. I'd finally patterned him where I knew he was supposed to be about the time he was supposed to be. But there was an area on my grandfather's land. Now, my grandfather and grandmother raised me, but we had a large farm, over 200 something acres. There was an area on the farm on the very back side, close to, it's kind of like a slough and a gully and some hills, but it was an area that I already knew, we'd been told is off limits. It was probably 5 or 6 areas in there that was off limits. Matter of fact, they called it the valley. At the time, that's what they called it. It's called something else now, and it's kind of been made famous on my channel. But we were told to stay out. That was no-go. That was we were not allowed for no reason to be over in there. But when I patterned this deer, I noticed I would see his trail going in on one side of this and would go around to the other side and could see where he was coming out. And I finally caught him going in and coming out, and he would go in right before daylight, and he would come out about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on the other side. Well, what I was going to do is I was doing something just like a lot of people have done. I was doing something I knew I wasn't supposed to. You know, I went into this area and set up a deer stand in this area where I knew I wasn't supposed to be, but I was going after this deer. Dude, when I say he was so big and so old, his coat was gray, but it looked like it had this blue hue to it. Like I said, really, really old monster big buck. And I was going to cut him off in between there. Went in there, found a great place, found what I thought at the time was his trail going through there. Still, it might have been, but I don't think it was after what happened. Well, we get set up in there. Now, this is a homemade deer stand. It's about 16 foot tall, and it's made out of drill stem pipe. And the way it's made is there's a seat, and it's a ladder that you lean up against a tree, and you take a chain and go around it and chain in the top of it. That way it can't come away from the tree. Well, and like I said, the top of it's approximately about 16 feet in the air. That's where my buddy's sitting. And then there's a little platform below me that my cousin's sitting on. His head's about where my knees are. And he's sitting right there. I have a 30-aught Remington 786, a 30-06, and a 770 Game Master, the 786, Remington 30-06. I had just got it that year. And he had my Remington 870 shotgun pump. And the way now, down here in the South, where we loaded it, now it's called combat loading, but we would put a slug, a buckshot, a slug, a buckshot, a slug. That way, you know, you got range and you got distance if you need it. Well, that's the way he was loaded up. Well, we're sitting there. We got there like 4 o'clock that morning. Sunrise wasn't supposed to be till about, I think it was around 6 o'clock or something. You got to remember, this is many moons ago. But I think sunrise was somewhere around 6 o'clock. So we had about 2 hours before sunrise. And I wanted to make sure I got in there well before this deer got in there and started down through there because we were nice, quiet. Well, we got about 30 minutes before sunrise. We can hear, and there's a pine thicket probably 75 yards in front of us, about 12 years old. I didn't know at the time how old it was, but I'm going to say now it's about 12 years old because the tops of the trees were about 10 feet. You know, little bitty pine trees, thick, just a hellacious thicket. Anyway, we're sitting there and we can hear something in that thicket. And I'm whispering to my cousin. I told him, I said, I think that deer is already in the thicket over there. I said, man, it's going to come out right. As soon as it gets daylight, that deer, it's going to be perfect. I said, I told you, we're going to get the sucker this time. And the wind now is blowing from the thicket to my face. I intentionally did that. That's the reason why I waited to that day to go to that stand, is because I'd set that stand up just to get that deer, and I wasn't going to do anything to jeopardize that. As we're sitting there and the wind gets to blow, it's a little bit harder. Now, it's at that time of morning where it's light, but the shadows play tricks with your eyes and stuff like that. But the most god-awful smell started coming up through that from that bottom where that thicket is. I'm talking about, think of rotten meat and garbage and a skunk, it's like, man, what in the hell is that? And my cousin goes, oh, man, something's dead. I said, no, it ain't something just dead. I said, that is god-awful. And at that time, I said, shadows are playing. It's still dark enough. Shadows are kind of playing tricks. Or at least that's what I thought. That's what I was just, thinking. It was shadows playing tricks with my eyes. I kept seeing something large, or at least it looked large, moving in between those, in that thicket. And I was second guessing myself. Am I seeing something? Am I not seeing something? Well, I have a scope, a 3x9 Tasco wide view scope on this gun. It's an older scope. Like I said, it is now. They don't even make them things no more. No. And my cousin doesn't even have, like I said, he's using a shotgun. There's no scope. He's got the only pair of binoculars we have. So I'm raising my gun up, looking through my scope, trying to figure out if I'm seeing something or is it shadows playing tricks on my eyes. And then I start to see something move at the top of those trees. And my cousin's about 4 years younger than I am. So, I said, I'm actually trying to help teach him how to hunt. That's why he's with me. He goes, man, that deer sure is butting those trees. I was like, no, I don't think so. He's like, yeah, I can see the trees moving. I said, yeah, I see the trees moving too, but a deer shouldn't be moving those trees like that. And like I said, you could barely see something at the top of the trees. At the time, I didn't know if it was trees moving, shadows, or what. And it starts to get a little more lighter. And like I said, I'm looking through the scope. And all of a sudden, this khaki, the only way I can describe it is think of a calico cat. It's not brown, it's not black, it's not gray. It's like a bunch of different colors. It looks like a calico cat. This fur or hair, to me, I'm thinking fur, deer. I'm like, oh shit, there it is. Then as I'm looking, I'm trying to figure out, all right, is that the front? Is that the back? And then I get to thinking in my head, that deer's got some long hair. And I'm moving around back and forth trying to figure out where exactly the head of this animal is or the back of this animal is. And movement above what I'm looking at kind of catches me through the scope. And I'm like, what the hell? And I roll the scope up. And the first thing that comes to my eye is how long ago this has been. Return of the Jedi had just been at the movies. We had just seen that the week before. So the first thing that pops in my head, why the fuck is there somebody here in a goddamn, excuse my language, y'all.
That's all right.
Why is there somebody out here in a Chewbacca outfit? Where did they get this from? Why are they out? This is stupid. Somebody's going to get, I'm going through all this in my head. Don't never forget it. Then I got to thinking, that really is a really big guy. Who is that? Because as I get to sitting there thinking, the head is actually poking out just a little bit above where those pine trees are. And I know they're well over my head. And we are just above the tops of them. And like we're 16 feet in the air. So these trees had to be about 10 feet. And this head barely is sticking up above these trees. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That can't be a person. What the hell am I looking at? Now, this thing is sniffing and snorting, and because, like I said, the only thing you think of Chewbacca. Not quite that face, but that face. Because I'm looking through a scope on 9 power about 75 yards away. For the people that don't know that looks like it's like right in front of you. You're sitting on one end of the couch, it's sitting on the other end of the couch. That's how close it looks in that scope. So, like, there was no doubt of what I was seeing. I didn't understand what I was seeing. And you can see hands, you can see fingernails that look like they've been broke up and chopped up. You think of somebody that bites their fingernails all the time, but these are long and dirty. And like I said, the hair's hanging down probably 6 or 8 inches. It's just shaggy looking. There's cockleburrs you can see, and there's matted spots. But you can also see certain places you can see this grayish black like hide. And I'm thinking, this is the craziest fucking costume I've ever. What the hell is Andre the Giant doing out here in my woods in a Chewbacca outfit? Is exactly what I was thinking. Well, it's wanting to come. It's acting like it wants to come out of the tree line, but it don't want to come out. It's rocking back and forth. That's what it was doing. At the time, I didn't know they did that. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen one. Ever had any kind of interacting, but it's rocking. And to me, it's like, do I come out in the woods? Do I not come out? That's what I'm thinking, because I didn't know no better. Well, I tell my cousin, I said, look, he's right-handed, so he's got the butt of the shotgun with the trigger and all that in his right hand. He's got the foregrip that you pump action in his left hand. But this animal, the way it's going to come out on his right side. So there's no way he can swing around the way he is to shoot at it. So I tell him to look. I'm whispering in his ear. Swap hands with your gun. That way, if this thing comes out and runs at us, we're going to shoot it. Because I don't think this is a person. It's too big. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. In the middle of him doing that, he clinks that barrel against that freaking metal stand. Well, when he did that, I'm talking about, it sounds like a bell. Ding. That thing zeroed in. I'm talking about, I swear to God, looking through the scope, it zeroes in, looking dead back at me through the scope. And just the look in his eyes was like rage. I'm here to fucking kill you. That thing opened his mouth up, and I won't never forget those big, giant, freaking block teeth. I'm talking about, I ain't never seen nothing else look like it. And that thing hollered, screamed. It sounded like 6 lines going off at one time. You could feel it in your chest. It hurt. That's how loud it was and ringing your ears. I'm still looking at it through the freaking scope. It chose to step out, and I don't know if my cousin meant to or not meant to. To this day, I still don't know. He fired off a fucking round. And to be honest with you, I do not remember if it was buckshot or slug. I don't think he hit it at the time, because I think it was a buckshot, but it pissed it off. Even more than it was already pissed off. This thing, this is uphill, 75 yards away. By the time that round went off, this is how fast this happened, how much ground this thing covered. I was able to get one aimed fired shot, and I shot it fur. I think it was supposed to have been center mass chest, but I got my scope turned up, like I said, on 9 power at 75 yards, and it's done closed in probably to 50 yards by the time I pull the trigger, so I'm looking at fur. I can't tell you exactly where I hit, but when I hit it, it let out this, I know I hit it, it let out this bellowing, another howl, scream, and as it come by us, it swatted its arms up at that stand, and it literally, I don't know if anybody knows what drill stem pipe is, but it's called drill stem pipe because they use it to drill water wells and stuff in the side, and it's not light. It hit that stand and broke it like it was toothpicks. Wow. And when it did that, because there's no legs now, the stand falls back towards the tree and dumps us out. We hit the ground. Bam! When we hit the ground, we rolled. This thing is going to the left of us. We rolled to the right and left everything and hauled ass back to the fucking house. Now, my cousin is like a deer on crack, and he is way up in front of me and done left me. And the only thing I can think of, this thing is going to catch us. We done forgot guns and all. We didn't realize it. We just, when we hit the ground, we were gone. That's the only thing. We were trying to get the hell away from there. This thing is, we didn't know what was going on. We get back to the house. Well, he gets in there first, and he runs in, and he's telling my grandma, he's freaking out. I'm talking about just having a mental meltdown, breakdown. You can't understand nothing he's saying. And finally, she's like, you got to calm down. She finally takes a wet dish rag and pops him in the face with it. You got to shut up. Now, you got to understand, my grandmother is full-blooded coon ass. So, no nonsense is her name. Mm. And the way she talked, like I said, she's like, you got to climb down and tell me what the hell's going on. Kind of, give you an idea of how she's talking. He says, he gets monster out of his mouth, and we think we shot it, and my grandfather is on the front porch. I just come in through the back door as he come in through the front door. And the first thing he does is says, where were you boys at? And I knew my goose was cooked there because I was somewhere I knew I wasn't supposed to be. So I'm thinking the end of the world. I think I'd rather go back and fool with a monster. He says, I'm going to ask again. And so he said, yeah, I don't repeat myself very often. Where were y'all at? I told him, we were down in the back on the corner. Dude, I will never forget the look in his eye. I wish he'd have hit me. Because the look in his eye and his face, he slammed his coffee cup down on the table, stormed out the door, turned around, stuck his head back in the door and said, y'all don't go any damn where, and left. To this day, I don't know where he went, what he done, and there was no way in hell I was going to ask him at the time. Because like I said, you just did, my grandfather's one of those people you didn't question.
Right.
And they just, no.
Now, did he come back with your rifles and shot you?
No. He came back later on, Now, like I said, this was the week before Christmas. That's how I know this when all this happened, because this is the Monday we were out from school for Christmas. That weekend was Christmas. It was Christmas, and then we were out another week, and then it was New Year's. Well, that whole weekend, that week went by, and I tried to avoid my grandfather like he had the plague, because he would, every time he saw me, I could feel him burn a hole through me. And I made sure there was other people around, because I just knew if he got the opportunity, my ass was grass and he was the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas came, went. It was the middle of the next week. My aunts and uncles were coming in. They were getting ready. My grandfather and them used to do a big 4th of July stuff. New Year's Eve stuff. And they were getting ready to come in, and some other family members were leaving. And I'm thinking, man, he hadn't said nothing. Maybe I'm over this. Well, that morning I come down for breakfast, and my grandmother is quietly. Now, my grandmother didn't cook quietly, but that morning she was quietly cooking. And he's already sitting at the kitchen table. He's fully dressed in his work clothes, and he don't even have his coffee cup sitting in front of him. He looks at me and says, "Go get your clothes on." He said, "We got stuff to do today." And I'm thinking, oh shit. We go down to the barn, and I'm thinking when we get down there, I'm fixing to get the teetotal tar beat out of me. We get down to the barn. He's saddling his horse. He tells me to saddle mine. He goes over to the little loft area where there's a trap door in the bottom. He reaches in that trap door and pulls out this little burlap sack. And that's about an 8-pound burlap sack, which is probably about a foot tall, probably 10 inches around. I have no idea what the fuck was in it. I didn't see him put what was in it. And I'm damn sure, like I said, I wasn't asking questions that he didn't tell me to ask. And you can tell he is mad. He is mad to like the point where he was like it just happened. He tells me, saddle up. He said, "You're taking me back to where y'all were." And I told him, I said, "Papa," I said, "Look," because that's what I called him, Papa. I said, "Papa," I said, "that thing, you think we need to go get a gun? That thing is still down there." I said, I don't want to go back there. He said, "No, you're going back." He said, "You're going to take me back to where you were." He said, "We don't need a gun." He reaches over, grabs that little small burlap, puts it in the saddlebag, and on the horse as we go. And the whole time, I would rather been anywhere in the freaking world but doing what the hell we're doing. It took about 30 minutes, because I'm talking about my horse. I couldn't pull. I guarantee you my horse's mouth was sore because I was steady pulling back on the reins. Even though it was just a slow walk, I was trying to get him to quit walking because I just didn't want to go. We finally make it down there, make it back to where the tree was, where we were in. What is left of that deer stand has been, like I said, it looks like somebody took toothpicks and just broke it all up. And it's been wrapped around other pieces of tree. Our guns, my gun is snapped in half. The shotgun is the barrel is half-ass bent and the stock is broke off of it. There's stuff, the ground is just tore up and stuff is scattered everywhere. My grandfather looks at me, looks around. He says, "I want you to start gathering all that stuff up, get the rope off my horse and tie what you can to it. And we're going to drag it back." Yes, sir. He walks over to the saddlebag, gets that burlap sack out that he's got. He walks over to the tree we were sitting in that stand was on, puts that bag at the bottom of the tree, looks at me and says, "I don't ever want to hear of you coming back here again. Do you understand me?" "Yes, sir. This place don't exist." "Yes, sir." He helped me gather up some more stuff. We took a rope, tied what we could, took other stuff and shoved down in little saddlebags and stuff on my horse and on his horse, and we got out of there. We go back down to the barn. He gets off there. He tells me to get off my horse, and I'm thinking, this is where I'm going to get my ass whipped. He takes me over and sits me down. He said, "I don't mean to be hard on you." He said, "But there's things out here in these woods you don't understand that will hurt you." I said, "Papa, I already know about the bobcats and the panthers and, the wild dogs and the wolves and the cow." He says, No. He says, "We got boogers out here in these woods that will eat you like a lollipop." I said, "What?" He said, you know the boogers that Mama and everybody's always got? I said, yeah, but I thought that was just something, y'all told us to keep us in at night, to scare us. He said, no, son. He said, what you saw was a big male booger. He said, I don't know what they are, where they come from. He said, but if they get the opportunity, and if you make them mad like you did, they will kill you. Wow. What was in that bag? I have no idea to this day. And like I said, I did not ask him. That's when he showed me and told me. He carried me around for a while after that and showed me what signs to look for to let me know they were in the area and to leave that area until I didn't see those signs no more. Because when they come in there, he said they're the bull of the woods. He said, like the bull that's in the pasture, nothing else, no other bulls come out there and do anything unless that bull allows them to. They're the bulls of the woods.
Right. Yeah.
He said, so when they're out here, just leave them be. Don't bother them. Don't try to do nothing with them. He said, and they absolutely do not give them nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was my whole introduction to what everybody else calls Bigfoot. I was brought up calling them boogers. This is the thing. Until I was about 17, I thought everybody knew about them. I thought they were just readily available. I thought everybody knew about the boogers. That's when I learned, that most people call them Bigfoots and Sasquatches. And I'm like, because I seen the show, I forgot, I think I was at my aunt's house up in Missouri. And this show come on, hold on, some Unsolved Mysteries or something, where this guy was talking about the Neil Patterson film. And I was like, that's a booger. Right. What the hell are they talking about? And my aunt was married to my uncle that didn't grow up around none of this. She's like, that's a what? A booger? That's nasty. She thought I was talking about, the other kind of booger.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's a booger. That thing's out in the woods at the house. She thought I was joking. When her husband come home, which is my uncle, my granddaddy's son, she mentioned something about it, and he come to me and said, don't you tell my wife nothing else about what goes on at the farm. I don't want her scared to go there. What did I do? He said, don't be talking about them boogers out there. He said, I don't want to hear that nonsense no more.
Right.
You mean nonsense? They're out there. You know they're out there. I know you know they're out there. He said, I don't want to talk about this no more. I don't want to say it no more. That's when I found out everybody didn't know about boogers. I'm like, really? Okay.
So that was your first pretty much your introduction.
That was my first introduction to boogers, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. I own that property to this day.
Right.
I told one of the first stories I told on my channel. I actually told the story of my grandfather and them actually having these things got bad enough back years ago, before I was even an inkling thought of, that they had basically a war with them, or whatever you want to call it. I call it Booger Valley, where they actually set that whole damn hillside on fire to run them out, because my grandfather's best friend that used to live right down the road from us, which was probably, for most people that live in the city, probably 4 city blocks. That was where his house was from my grandfather's. I'm kind of guesstimating distance, but it wasn't no closer than that, I know. They actually got him going into his barn. He shot at them. They killed him. And that's what caused my grandfather and all of them to set those woods on fire. And after that, they kind of died down, and my grandfather and them kind of they learned to commingle with each other. And like I said, I still own that property now. Matter of fact, we have the Dogman camera project. I'm working on trying to get a camera out there now.
Yeah. The
problem we're having is, when I say that place is so far in the damn sticks that they had to pump sunshine in there is no cell phone service. Now, like I said, it's off the beaten path. If you go out there, you're either two things. You're coming to see somebody out there, which ain't but two people. Well, there ain't but one person lives on that road, and then I own their other property, or you're lost.
Right. So when did you get introduced to the Dogman? What was your introduction?
The Dogman was an accident.
All right.
Literally, it literally accident. The first encounter I had with a Dogman, I did not know what the hell it was. I'd never heard of a Dogman, never seen a Dogman. This was in 2015.
Okay.
I do believe. It might have been 16. It's either 15 or 16, one of the two. Never had heard of a Dogman. Much as I look, and I've been in most deserts, jungles, woods, the up north, down south, places that I don't even know where the hell they dropped us off at. It just wasn't friendly, I can tell you that. But I never had seen or heard. The only time I've ever heard anything that was remotely like a Dogman, we were in Brussels, Germany, and they were talking about the werewolf. The werewolves that were around there, and I thought it was just, lore. I didn't know, that they were real, or nobody thought they were real, or whatever. Now, my grandmother used to talk about the Lugaroo and the Lugaroo, and I always thought they were just boogers that looked funny. I got my mind changed. Me, and I'm going to go this way with it. Me and Lakeia, I don't know if anybody says listen to my channel or not listen to my channel, but Lakeia is a lady that's been on my channel. She's one of my great researchers. Miss Lakeia is very well known in the, I'm going to say the witchcraft. That's just the easiest thing because most people don't know what Wicca and Wiccan and all that stuff is. I'm just going to say the witchcraft realm. She has been, her family generationally goes back all the way through Salem. And before then, she's had them in her family, been in her family. She grew up around it. And she is one of the best fucking researchers. When I say researchers, I mean online. The only people I've ever seen better than her is the NSA. She can find you with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of want. She's very good at it. Anyway, me and her, and I'll tell people, I have two boys. Most of the time, I don't even talk about most of my fans or listeners, followers, whatever you want to call yourselves, don't even know that I have children. But yes, I have two boys. They were in the back seat. We were actually in Lakeia's little bitty, I hate this little fucking car. Only reason I took it is because she insisted. It's a Kia Sportage. It's like a fucking shoebox with wheels on it. I hate that little bastard. Anyway, they're in the back seat. Now, anybody that knows me or has heard me, 99% of the time, I am armed. It's just my nature. To me, having a weapon on me is like for a man having their wallet on them, for a woman having your purse. It's just when I feel weird if I don't have my gun with me. Nothing macho, nothing else. It's just I've used one for so long, carried one for so long, I feel unbalanced without it. 45, 1911 on my side. In the door is a Glock 19. In the very back is a M4 that I just got finished building. Matter of fact, that's why it was in there, because I'd been out shooting. This happened the first week in December, like I said, I think it was 2015. We're in Mississippi. We're on the Natchez Trace, which is a deserted, lonely freaking road. We're going down through there. It's about 8 o'clock at night, maybe 9, somewhere between 8 and 9, somewhere in there, because it's been so long ago, I don't remember exactly the time. I know it was in between there, though. We got to an area going down the Natchez Trace. Now, it's a full moon out, so, you can see really good, and my headlights are on bright. Now, this road, the speed limit is 50 miles an hour. You can go look up the Natchez Trace and see all this. The speed limit on this road it's actually a road they consider a bicycle path that they just allow cars to use, which is hilarious. But the speed limit is 50 miles an hour, and they are notorious they have park rangers on that road that will drive around and everything from a minivan to an SUV and pull you over and give you a ticket. It is outrageous. So I'm literally got the speedometer. The cruise set on 50. That way I don't speak. It has a heavy foot. we're going down through there, and we'd come up on this area where you could see where it'd been freshly logged. So, you can see out there a good ways, and about 75 yards off the road, and we're probably, we're probably a mile out, I'm going to say. But like I said, you can see really good. Now, remember the distance I said, because at first, Lakea goes, look at that coat. I said, no, I don't think that's a coat. I think that's a wolf. Now, we're probably a mile away from it. At night, 75, and it's 75 yards off the road. It didn't dawn on me until a few seconds later. We shouldn't be able to see that because it's too. A regular coyote or a wolf would be too small. This damn thing is noticeable at that distance. Wait a minute, something ain't right. As we get closer, it gets bigger. And it's on all fours. And as we get closer, like I said, now it's off the side of the road about 75 yards. All it has to do is take one step. It's in a tree line. It is safe. There's no way we can chase it, follow it. Plus, we're going down the road. It's in no danger. We're not bothering it. This thing turns and makes a beeline straight for the road for the car. And it is loping. And as it gets closer, it gets bigger. And by the time it's right up on the side of the car, without me knowing it, I'm thinking, first thing that pops in my head, this thing is the size of a fucking Jersey cow. But it looks like a giant fucking wolf. But it's way too big. Way too big. And the first thing I thought in my head was, I don't have anything in this vehicle I think will stop that. My foot immediately goes to the floorboard. And I believe that's what saved us, because this thing acted, and if I would have sped up, it would have hit us right dead center of the side. I believe it would have flipped us, is how big this thing was, because on all fours, as it gets to the car, we pass. This thing is looking at me eyeball to eyeball through the fucking side glass, and it's got its head down. So it's actually as tall as the side of this Kia Sportage. That's how big this thing was. And it's on all fours. It looks like a giant wolf. Right. But this so happened because I guess because I stomped on the gas, it went literally right behind the car. You could see its hair light up from the tail lights. You could see the air blow off the car, make its hair, move like wisp in the wind. Where it went from there, I don't know if it chased us. I don't know if it just ran across the road. I have no idea. My goal was to get out of there as fast. I had this little damn car doing everything it would do. And like I said, I'm trying to smash my foot through the fucking floorboard. Because in my head, I don't have anything I believe that will stop this thing. If it flips us, it's going to kill my kids and Miss Lakea. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it. So get the hell away. Well, we done went several miles up the road, and finally Lakea turns at me and says, will you slow the hell down before you wreck us? Because like I said, I'm doing like 80-something miles an hour in this little fucking Kia, and it sounds like the rubber band's about to pop on it. She goes, I do not want to be broken down on the side of the road or wrecked with that thing out here. I finally start slowing down. And she goes, what was that? I said, that was the biggest goddamn wolf I've ever seen in my fucking... She goes, that is no way that was a fucking wolf. I'm telling you, it was the size of a full-grown cow. Easiest comparison.
Yeah.
Well, we get back to Lakea's house, and I've never seen or heard anything. The only time I've ever heard anything like that is people talk about the dire wolves and stuff like that. So I get on the internet, and I started looking around for dire wolves and stuff. Well, what I seen did match. And I go through looking at every kind of wolf, this and that, and all of a sudden I come across Dogman. What the fuck is a Dogman? Well, they throw up this picture, and there's a close drawing of what I saw. It's kind of reared up, but I'm thinking, some dogs, they jump up on their hind leg. That's what the picture looked like, a wolf just reared up on his hind legs. I'm thinking, okay, that looks really close to what the fuck we saw. What the hell is a Dogman? Then I got into this researching, trying to figure out what a Dogman was. I come across a couple places, but the place I kept coming back to, because every time you turn around, you put in Dogman, this one fucking channel on YouTube would pop up. I don't know if you want his name said on your channel. If you do, you can say it. I'm not going to say it unless you say it.
We can avoid it.
Okay. Well, I said this is your channel, and I don't do stuff like that. If you want to say it, that's fine. But anyway, this one channel popped up. So I went on there and contacted him. What is a Dogman? Where the hell did it come from? He sends me back. Now, we're emailing back and forth this time. He says, why? Did you see one? I said, I don't know if I saw one or not, but I saw something that I can't explain, and I've seen a bunch of weird shit. And Dogman's the only thing that comes close to resembling what I saw. He says, send me your number so I can call you. Okay. I'm not... Y'all have to understand me. I'm just that kind of person. I don't try to hide stuff. I don't try to. What you get is what you get. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Either turn the channel, turn the page, walk away and leave me alone. Because your vault is vault. I don't give a care if you wake me up in the middle. Well, I'm probably meaner when you wake me up, but I'm just me. I don't know how to be nothing else.
Right.
To me, it's too much fucking effort to try to be something you're not. But anyway. He calls me, and he asks me to tell him what I saw. And so I tell him. He goes, oh, man, I've got you. Why don't you come on and do an episode? Why don't you do it? Let me do an episode. I just want you to tell the whole story again. I'm going to record you, ask you just a couple questions. Like, okay, I just don't see what. So it was scary as hell, but I don't understand why somebody would want to hear that. Nothing really happened except for it scared the shit out of us.
Right.
So we did. And I said, okay. I said, can you tell me? He said, well, we really don't know that much. Well, you really didn't help me very much, but okay. I understand. You don't really know. Good to talk to you, whatever. And like I said, I had his little cell phone number and stuff. I'm not a kind of person that leaves things alone. Well, it just, the more and more it bothered me. Why have I not ever heard these things before? Why have I not ever seen one? All that kind of stuff. For your listeners that don't know, I'm an ex-military contractor. I'm retired now. I call a couple of my buddies that are actually stateside and I ask them, hey, look, would y'all be interested in going out with me to find so-and-so? It may be dangerous. It may not be. You have to understand the kind of people that I'm used to hanging around with. If you tell them, hey, let's go over here and pick a fight with this group over here, and they got AK-47s, they got cruise missiles, they got this, that, and the other, and they probably want to kill us. That's a good time to them. That's a good idea. That's what we used to get paid to do. So they're like, okay, it'll be fun. It's a vacation for them. So we get together, plan out what's going on. Told nobody. We go out to the area because I started looking around for different werewolves and Dogman, even weird Bigfoot sightings. Found an area. We went to it. We started looking around. Started asking questions, and we got homed in on this one place. And it's right at the foothills of the Appalachian Trail. Well, right before that, I'll tell that story in a little bit. Right before that, what got me into where we were going, something else happened, and I'll tell that story here in a little bit. But we had pinpointed where we wanted to go. Exactly pinpointed it. And because of something else that had happened, I had access to the property. So me, two of my good friends, go out and start physically tracking and trying to look for this thing. We treat it like a grand safari hunt, like we're hunting down Cape Buffalo. Because the other two thought I was done lost my marbles, and I'm thinking I'm looking for something that looks like a giant wolf. Remember that. We keep going. Several days went by. Well, there's a lady that was with us. We call her Natalia. Natalia goes, what is that? About 200 yards down off the side of a creek there's this black object under a cedar tree. At first, it looks like a bear sitting there with his back to you. Only problem with that, there's no bears in this area. There's no bears have been reported for several, I'm going to say 50 years plus. I'm on just an easy estimate. There's no bear. It's not bear territory. She goes, is that a bear? I said, we don't have bears. And it moved around us a little bit. I said, that's a booger. She goes, oh, really? That's what you talk about? It looks like a bear. I said, just hold on a second. Well, it kind of uprighted and then stood up. She goes, oh, my Lord, that thing is huge. I said, keep your fucking voice. Now, we're a couple of 100 yards away from this thing, but I'm still, keep your voice down. I said, that's a squatch. I said, that's not what we're looking for. I said, that's a booger. Bigfoot, that's a squatch, you know. Tank goes, I thought you said they looked like a monkey. Tank is looking through a 50-powered spotting scope, Leopold spotting scope. I said, yeah, they kind of look like a gorilla, caveman, monkey, however, you know, they look different. Some of them look different than others. He goes, no. He said, it looks like Anubis. I said, what? He said, yeah, it looks like Anubis. Give me that. I look, and sure enough, this thing turns and gets a side profile, and I swear to God, think of the drawing of Anubis, take a Bigfoot body, put Anubis's head on it. That's what was standing out there, about 200 yards away from us. That blew my fucking mind. Everything I thought I knew went down the toilet. And like I said, I'm a guy that goes out and has been involved with Bigfoot many years before this. Well, it turns, doesn't look at us, kind of turns a little bit close, you know, in the direction we are, sticks its nose in the air, and you can say, I'm looking through a 50-powered spotting scope, 10 by 50. So I can, like I said, I'm close enough at 200 yards, I can see its nostrils moving. It kind of sniffs the air, sticks its head back down, and off down that bank and to the other side, and it went off, and I have no idea where the fuck it went. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Hold on, wait a minute. This don't make sense. I told him, I said, we gotta regroup. I don't know what I just knew that was a Bigfoot until it turned and I looked through that spotting scope. I go back, I call this person I was talking about that I did this other show with. And I'm like, have you ever gotten a report of a Bigfoot with a dog head? He goes, oh yeah, that's Dogman. I said, no, I'm not talking about that thing I've seen before. He goes, no, that's a type 2. Or it could be a 3. Hold on, pump the brakes, hit the pause button. What do you mean a 2 or a 3? He goes, oh yeah, there's 3 different types of Dogman. What do you mean there's 3 different types of Dogman? Oh yeah, you got the one like you saw, that's a type 1. Then you got another type that kind of looks like a Bigfoot with a dog's head on it, a giant wolf's head. That's a type 2. He said, or some people call that maybe a 3. He said, but the 3s are usually smaller than the Bigfoot types, and they're really, really smart. You know, this would have been probably needed. This is information I might have needed to know before I doing what the hell I'm doing. He's like, what are you doing? That's why I broke down what I'm doing. He's like, you're joking. I was like, no, dude. That's why I'm calling you to find out what the hell we just saw. Do I need to know if I need to be tracking this or what? Man, he goes, be careful. You know, these things can be aggressive. He did not tell me how aggressive, and I did not know. So I hang the phone up. I told him, I said, I'll get back with you. The other thing I asked him was, do you have anybody I can send some evidence to? Because we had went down and gathered pictures of the footprints from this thing, and they looked like Bigfoot tracks. But the thing is, they had nail marks like a bear in the front. But they were way too fucking big for a bear. I've seen bear tracks, and I said, we don't have bear, and these things were over 16 inches long and about 8 inches wide. And they had, you could tell, claw marks that were probably about 2 inches long, and they were probably a quarter of an inch wide on the front parts. Never seen nothing like it. I've seen a million fucking Bigfoot prints. Never seen a Bigfoot print like it. It was close to a Bigfoot print, but it was different. And we had gotten some hair samples right there because there was a thorn bush right next to where that cedar tree and stuff was. It was the same color as the hair, so I'm saying it came from that animal. could probably be wrong, but I believe it came from an animal. When I asked him about the evidence, he's like, absolutely not. I don't have nobody to put you in contact with. Nobody I know tries to go out and find these things. I'm like, well, I'm going to figure out what the hell this is. I'll call you back. A week went by. We had been going into the same area day after day after day, and I did a crazy. Now, we also found a guy that he was a prepper and sold rabbits for people to start their own rabbit farm for prepping for renewable food source. We bought 100 of these bastards because I wanted live bait. I know a bunch of people are going to be pissed at me for that, but if you're hunting a bear or anything like that, what is the best bait to use?
Living bait.
Something living bait that you know they eat. Bears eat rabbits. Sorry, people, that's the birds and the bees.
I've got a pretty good audience. That a lot of them are hunters. They're good here, so you don't have to really worry too much about that.
Okay, well, so we made these makeshift little cages out of some. We went and I don't know if anybody knows what carpenter's cloth is. It's not actually cloth. It's wire mesh, thick wire mesh. It's heavy gauge wire mesh. It looks like what you see chicken pen, small brooding pens and stuff like that made of. We went and bought a couple rows of that. We were making makeshift little little cages, and we were setting them around in the woods and the property and stuff like that, and putting game cameras out, trying to get a picture of whatever the hell this is, so we can get some, some more proof. Well, that would work, then it wouldn't work. We got several cameras that were destroyed, no pictures. Sometimes the cages would be gone, and there would be no pictures. I don't still understand how the hell that happened. The cameras would be knocked off, or stuff would be put in front of them, which I've had squatches do that. Well, we got complacent in trying to figure out what we were going to do next and what we were going to do. And we started doing something that I never recommend. You even know this. Any hunter knows it. You don't never pattern yourself. We had actually started doing where we'd started going into our research area. It was like a little field. It was probably 100 yards wide, several hundred yards long. Then it was a stand of trees, and it was another little clearing with a rock edge, the creek, and a old like rock dam that we could walk across to get to another area. It was just the easiest way to access the other side of the area. We had been going in and out that way several times, several days in a row. We got across the first field, and we got into that little group of trees. Now, the pattern we're standing in, for anybody that doesn't know or does know, we were in a triangle pattern. That way it keeps us from firing on top of ourselves. Person on the right covers the right side, person on the left covers the left side, person in the middle covers the rear and the front flank. That way you don't have overlapping crosses of fire. You don't shoot anybody, hopefully. And the firepower we had, Natalia's carrying an AK-47. I've got a car 16, which is an M4, but it was actually, I made it, the way I had it fixed up, it looked like an original car 16. Tank is carrying a 308, Remington 700 308, and he's also our designated sharpshooter at the time, and he had backstashed close to the vehicle up on a rock ledge. That's our last waypoint. If something happens, we drop back to. There's a custom Knight's Armament 338 Lapua with armor-piercing rounds. You got to understand when I say these rounds were developed to stop a armored vehicle's motor at 1,000 yards. They'll shut a motor down. Your regular car, I can shoot through the front of the motor, go all the way through the back of the motor, go inside the fucking engine, past the engine compartment into the bay of the cockpit of the vehicle. If I do it right, I can actually strike the driver from front of the vehicle to the back. That's within about 400 yards. Like I said, 1,000 yards, it'll stop. It'll go slap through an engine block. A V10. Like I said, that was our fallback, last resort. Everybody's supposed to have a rally point. If everything goes to shit, everybody falls back there. We had several fallback positions, but that is the last, that's the Alamo. We're going down through there, and we get right up in that little group of trees that we got to go through that probably ain't 20 yards wide. I don't know how long. I didn't never really pay attention. I know it's as long as that first little patch of grass that we had to go through. All of a sudden, all hell breaks out. This thing literally waited for Natalia and Tank to go past it. I'm fixing to come up on it. This thing comes out of the trees, straight down and right in between us. And it's throwing, hitting shit, going crazy. Now, you got to understand, a lot of people say, why didn't you shoot then? We can't. It's in the middle of all of us. We're in a cross of fire. If whoever shoots is shooting at one or the other person, you're caught in a crossfire. Now, that's another thing you got to remember when I tell you all this stuff, because the shit this thing did, there is no other way to describe it. I've been in several conflicts and several firefights. These were deliberate actions. This shit don't accidentally happen. It waited, like I said, for the first two to pass, the third one to be coming up. And when it came down, it knew it couldn't be fired upon, because if we were fired upon, we'd be firing upon ourselves. It separated us. I tried to go back the direction we had just came in. Tank takes off to the right, Natalia takes off to the left. I can't go but so far, because the way that creek comes around, it's a 40-foot drop that I run into probably, 50 yards from where this thing just come out of the trees. It's a 50-foot straight down drop. And there's nothing but rocks under it. There's no water, there's just a drop. So I can't go that way but so far. I can't go forward because it's cutting me off. I can't go backwards because I'm in like a horseshoe shape. So I decided, I started to go like I was going to go to the if looking straight at it, it'd be to its right. And when it went to cut me off, I was able to slip by ahead like Natalia. I was trying to link back up with Natalia. I got cut off again where this little rock quarry starts. The thing is, once you go into this rock quarry, it kind of circles around and dead ends. You got 20-foot tall, the rocks that they use to put up on the side of banks to keep rivers from washing?
Yep.
That's what this was a quarry to get these rocks from. If they're that white granite-y looking stuff, but they've done dynamited and blowed them up and beat them up, and like I said, it's a quarry. There's no way in hell I can crawl up on top of this thing.
Right.
Natalia's done fired 4 magazines. I've done fired 6 M4 magazines. I don't know how many times Tank shot, because I don't remember counting. And to be honest with you, this day, I don't remember asking him. I was out of M4. I think Natalia was on her last magazine of AK. I'd already done grabbed my 9mm Beretta that was on my chest and was starting to run. I done run 1 magazine of it and was fixing to reach down and grab my other magazine. I'm down behind the biggest fucking block. It's probably the size of your car. It's a big boulder down there. I'm behind it trying to keep something in between me and it. This thing is coming. Now, as we've went into this, Tank has made it back to the Alamo. He's looking straight down that quarry. I don't know it. I don't know where anybody is except for me. And this damn thing's literally 10 feet on the other side of this rock. I'm close enough, like I told you before. Now, I have 9mm Hornady critical duty ammunition in this handgun. I can watch the rounds impact, flatten out, and slide off. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to fire this last magazine, the last round I'm putting in my own fucking head, because I'll be goddamn if I'm going to be still alive when this damn thing starts eating me. Because the look on his face was just sinister and it was like it was grinning and having fun. Like, I'm going to kill you and there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, to my acknowledgement, Tank has done made it back up to the Alamo, and he's done got on the 338. Tank is very proficient with that gun. He's not but about 250 yards away. That's a sneeze for that gun. You know yourself that he is.
Yeah, yeah.
The scope he's got on it, I forgot. I know it's a Swarovski, but I don't remember what the numbers. And I know it's a fixed power. I think it was a 6x10 power fixed powered scope on that gun, if I do remember. But at that distance, that 6x10 power, that's it's hard to aim at something that close to you, because when you start aiming through it, as big as this animal is, you're looking at fur. You're not looking at like a target. You're looking at fur.
Right. There's no detail of anything.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, like I said, this thing is looking at me, and like I said, I'm down to my last magazine, and I've done made in my mind, I'd rather die on my own accord than this thing eat me alive. And I heard the report of that 338, and for anybody that has never heard the report of a 338 going off, and you're down range of it at that close, you will never forget that fucking sound. I knew exactly what it was when it went off. He hit that animal in the right shoulder, upper part, just right below where the ball would be at, like in your shoulder. The thing, like I said, I'm looking at this thing in the face when this report goes off, and you can see it impact and the round go through and hit the bank up above my head. Because I'm on the ground down, like I'm trying to be as small as I can. The look immediately, I'm talking about, have you ever seen like a little kid doing something and they get caught doing it, the expression they have on their face?
Yeah.
This thing went from like the snarling, it's having fun, to holy shit, I fucked up. That's the easiest way I can take, because the expression immediately changed. It goes to turn. As it goes to turn, Tank said he just shot at the next fur he saw. As he turns, it kind of picks its right leg up and spins around. It's spinning around back towards to get away. He hits it in the upper right thigh. And it kind of like spins him back around, and he slams and hits the ground. Now this thing hollers, screams like think of 50 women getting murdered all at one time, the noise that come out of this thing. It has done fucked up, and it's trying to get away. It is scurrying, scampering. It looked like the cartoon Wile E. Coyote trying to get back, when he gets left in midair, trying to get back on something, get his feet back under it. As it stands back up, it takes off. Now, you remember the river or creek, whatever you want to call it, is right there. It's right there. You still ain't going to know where the hell I'm talking about, but anyway, it's a man-made waterway they widen to have barges go up and down. So it's not no little damn thing, and it's deep. It's probably 40 yards to mine and its left side. Yeah, left side. It's trying to scamper and go that direction. As it stands back up and starts to go towards that water, another shot rings out, and it looks like about where its belly button would be, it just blew out. Just red mist went everywhere, like a balloon with jello just went off. It hits the ground, does another weird kind of thing, and it can't get back up. It rolls and rolls off the side of that bank, right into the water, and last time we saw it. Have no idea if it drowned. We never found any tracks up or down the creek, either on both sides of where it came up at.
Wow.
And I go back, and I tell this person, you need to tell people not to be messing with these damn things, because I don't know what the hell it's going to take to kill one. And he asked why, and I tell him what is almost exactly what I just told y'all. There's a few things I still left out of this that I just won't go into because I don't think it's necessary. It's more information than you actually need to know to keep you safe. It's not because I'm trying to hide nothing or what. I just don't want nobody to get hurt.
Right.
It's not why I'm doing this. He will not leave me alone until I go on and the story we told was a lot of embellishment in it, and it was done that way because I told him, I said, if somebody hears this, they're going to go out and try it, and I don't want that on me. And I'm going to tell you now, if you go out messing with one of these things and you get your ass killed, it is on you. It is not on me. I'm telling you, leave these damn things alone. They are not to be messed with. Nothing you think you have is going to fucking hurt it. I want you to understand that. At the time, though, my best idea was we don't need to give them enough information so they can try to find one of these things, and we need to change up a bunch of stuff so people can't create what we did.
Right.
He was fine with that. It took us, after a month of him trying to get me to do it, I sat down and agreed with it, and it took us almost a week to get the story out, told the story, he puts it up, and people that know stuff, like what I mean by military tactics, no military weapons and stuff like that, they started having problems with the story. I told him this is going to happen. You can't fool a vet because especially when it's been in combat, you're not going to fool them. They know how things sound. They know how things. He just told me, "Oh, it'll be okay. I'll take care of it." Okay. Well, needless to say, he didn't take care of it. I got left twisted in the wind. When I called him the last time I talked to him, I told him, I said, "Why don't you just take it down? I'm tired of people contacting me. I'm tired of people calling me a liar. It's pissing me off. I'm past pissed off. I'm about to get annoyed." He told me his very words, "I've made $500 off this show, off that one show so far." He said, it's going to make me more money. I'm not taking nothing down." Hung up on me and never would talk to me again.
Yep. Probably tried to sell you a sweatshirt too, didn't he? Just kidding. Just kidding.
He kept telling me, he's got merchandise. I need to go and check it out and stuff. I don't wear stuff like that anyway. It's not me. I said this. After that put a bad taste in my mouth, and anybody that knows me or knows the story between me and Darkwater, they know what happened. They know who I'm talking about. The only reason I'm not saying his name is out of respect for you, because this is not my channel. I don't want any problems and backlash. And to anybody, I'm going to say this now, because, like I said, I refuse to say his name, and it's not because I'm scared of him, and I'm scared of what's going to be said or whatever. I'm doing this because this is Jeff's channel. If you have a problem with anything I've said, if you have a problem with me not liking this person I'm talking about,
well, the majority, to be honest, the majority of my guys here, all of my subscribers are family.
Okay.
They know, so
I'll behave and be nice to them, but I was just going to let them know, if you have a problem with it, you come talk to Vault. Don't take nothing out on Jeff or nothing else. You come see Vault. Vault will be your huckleberry. Trust me. Like I said, that is both of my encounters so far with Dogman. That now I've had other times that I've been out on a property, and the signs that I found look just like the signs that I'd seen before when I had my idiotic encounter that I thought to get my fool ass killed.
Right.
And like I told you earlier, 9 times out of 10, I just leave the area. I'm not trying to prove Dogman exists. I'm not even trying to prove Bigfoot exists. I'm just trying to help people that need help, because people don't understand. Dogman, to get on your property, it is hell. It is literally living hell. These things are a crypto terrorist. It's what me and DW named them. They do stuff intentionally to scare you. It's like they feed off your fear.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I've never seen a cryptid do this before, or why they do it, but they will intentionally do stuff just to scare the shit out of you, because there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. It's almost like they're a trickster. Like the Native American trickster a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's like they could kill you anytime. Your doors, your windows, and even the walls in your house. They're a false sense of security.
Yeah.
If it wants to, it will. If it wants to, it will rip the wall out of the side of your house. Because I've been to places where that has happened and people lost their lives or whatever. I just know they're missing and it was a bunch of blood left behind. So you do the math.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, these things, for the people that say these things are not a menace and won't hurt you, you're kidding yourself and you're stupid. Keep messing with them. You're going to be a statistic.
Both species
Yes.
are very
Yes,
dangerous.
yes, both. Yes, I go out, I research Bigfoot. I've been, when I say really, really close, if there's been video that I took that I had sent to a guy. I'm not going to even say his name because I don't know how you feel about that. I don't like dropping other people's names on somebody else's channel, but a lot of people know him. He's well known in the Bigfoot community. He's not with us right now. He will be back. But anyway, I didn't even realize at the time. I knew it was there in real life because I crawled through a thicket. When I come out the other side, about 10, 15 feet away, there's a squatch, a big son bitch. I can't tell you exactly how big it was because I wasn't trying to look at it. I acted like it wasn't there, ignored it, and just turned. It was on my right side, on my left side. I turned to the right and kept walking. And this thing followed me all the way out of the woods.
Right.
I didn't even realize it was caught on the video at the time until this person that I sent the video to, because he was trying to learn how to pick them out of videos and stuff. And when he sent me back the picture, the still he got from it, it was like you took a Bigfoot picture and just put it right there, and just plain as day, it's right there.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I didn't even realize I caught that on camera. I didn't even look at the thing. I was just trying to get the hell away from him because I think I crawled up into his kitchen or dining room, bedroom, something. I crawled through about a 20-yard thicket, a little hole I crawled up through on my hands and knees. And when I come out of a thicket, I'm in a little pine barren. And right beside a pine tree, probably 16 inches around, there's a squatch right there, right to my left side. I'm talking about it could have reached out and bopped me on the head and I'd be dead.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people get, and I like having people on who don't think that, or don't kind of sensationalize Sasquatch. Yeah, they're a very interesting creature, but they're very, Hollywood has made them something that they're not.
I'm here to tell you, if you don't listen, if you go out messing with these things, this is the first thing I tell you. You don't need to start with Sasquatch. You damn sure need to start with Dogman. You need to go around other animals. I'm going to say deer, even fucking dogs in your neighborhood. If you will listen to what an animal is telling you, it will let you know when it's done had enough of you, and you leave it the hell alone. And usually if you back up the direction you just came is your best bet because it was safe when you got there.
Right.
Up to that point. You back away. You don't try to show any aggression. Please do not point a gun at it because you're going to die. And even if you shoot that one you're looking at, that is not the one that's going to kill you because these things normally don't run. I've come across very few that were singular. Most of the time, they have multiples.
Yeah. And
they will let you walk into a trap if you keep pissing them off. That you think you're tracking them? No, sir. They are the king of the fucking woods when they're there. Your little gun and all that stuff is just no. I'm telling you, if you keep messing with one long enough, you will regret it. You're probably not going to live to regret it very long.
Right.
What I tell people is this. Said the same thing you earlier. People would not go out into the forest and find a grizzly bear or a black bear and try to make friends with it. They know it will kill them. They don't understand. They're messing with something that can kill a grizzly bear. I've seen a Kodiak bear with his head spun around like a top by a squatch.
Yep.
It did that with its bare hands. What do you think it will do to you? Like, I'm not telling you not to go research. Hey, look, you do you. That's fine. Respect what you're doing. If you feel like you're not wanted, leave. Come back another day.
Yeah. Amen to that. Amen to that.
I'm telling you, if you mess with these things long enough, they're a wild animal. What is a wild animal? If it thinks it's trapped, it's got two choices: fight or run.
Flight, yep.
And 90% of the time, they're not going to run because there's some reason why they just won't run. Either it may be a young around, an old one around, or they just may be just fed up with just humans messing with them. Because think about it, a Squatch that has interactions with humans, most of the time it doesn't go real nice. No. The human does something, hollers at them, shines a light at them, shoots at them, whatever. 9 times out of 10, it's not a good reaction. So what do they expect to be out of you? Even if you have all the good intentions in the world, they're going off past experiences. Because these animals are not stupid.
Exactly. I said this once a long time ago actually, and I said, a Sasquatch, people like Hollywood has sensationalized them, made them, but just like you said, we don't know. It's almost like a police officer. We don't know what kind of day that guy just had. He could have just, went to a house where, there was child abuse or whatever. And, we don't know what that Squatch has been through. We don't know if someone has messed with its young, if, that's just been pushed to an extreme. And, it's time, they just snap. And it happened to be the wrong place, wrong time, and
he can have a toothache. How do you feel when you have a toothache? And it could be a toothache because some idiot went out there giving it fucking candy bars and sweets and shit that it ain't used to having.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Or it associated a human with food. You come through there and you didn't have nothing to give it. Guess what? It wants its food.
Right on, yeah.
Don't fucking gift these things. Now, there's a difference in offering and gifting. The way I was raised, if you take something from Mother Earth, you give something back. You just don't take. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and leave gifts. That's a badass idea. There's even a story called The Goat Lady, where she was going out and she kept feeding these things, and she'd tell people for a long time, she's feeding, go out there and feed them no more. They came in her house and got her out and toted her off. That is a well-known story. I don't know if you've ever heard the Goat Lady story before.
No, I never heard that.
Yes, sir. Go look up exactly what I just told you. And how they know that a Scotch toted her off is because when a guy, after so many days, nobody had heard from this lady, a guy goes out to go check on her. As he's coming around the bend to turn up into her driveway, a Squatch crosses the road with something under his arm, long white hair, and come to find out it was the lady. They never found her, never seen her again. But they tore the backside of her house out, went in her house, and extracted her out of her house because she was not feeding them no more.
Right. Yeah, they get dependent. They're a wild animal, just like you said, yep. Wild animal. So, well, we're almost out of recording time. Don't hang up when we end the recording, but is there anything that you'd like to say to everybody before we end the video?
I appreciate you letting me come on here. Thanks everybody for coming and listening to me rant, rave, and ramble. And I think Jeff's got a really good thing going here. Y'all please give him support. I'm going to send some more people your way. And as always, sweet nightmares.
All right, folks, there you have it. I hope you all enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you for supporting the channel. It is, after all, your support that helps this channel to continue to grow and go, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we deserve. Please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and our friends. These creatures are real. These events have happened. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.